Religious apologists often explain the existence of evil as a result of man's God-given free will. Some, such as the apologist and philosopher William Lane Craig, and the Bible answer man and president of the Christian Research Institute, Hanegraaff, have said that the perfectly moral God of the Bible did not create evil, but rather the potential for evil by giving humans free will. This free will is essential to the human condition and allows us to choose to either know God or reject Him. So, if evil is the result of free will, I have to ask, is there free will in heaven? It seems pretty straightforward to me. Either there is evil in heaven, which goes against the concept of heaven espoused by all Orthodox Christian sects, or there can be no free will in heaven. On his blog, Craig parses the argument by saying,
"The vision of Christ, the source of infinite goodness and love, will be so overwhelming as to remove all freedom to sin. I like to think of it like iron filings in the presence of an enormously powerful electromagnet. They would be so powerfully attracted to the magnet that there is simply no possibility of their falling away. So with the blessed in heaven."
And he also states,
"It seems right to think that the unalloyed vision of Christ would be something so overwhelmingly attractive that freedom to resist it would be utterly removed."
Now this just seems like a defense of the awesome, coercive power of God's presence, which in practical terms has the effect of removing free will. And of course it doesn't account for the rebellious Lucifer who chose to defy God while in His presence. Hanegraaff says of evil,
Christian theism acknowledges that God created the potential for evil because God created humans with freedom of choice. We choose to love, to hate, to do good or to do evil. Without choice, love is meaningless. God is neither a cosmic rapist who forces his love on people, nor a cosmic puppeteer who forces people to love him. Instead, God, the personification of love, grants us the freedom of choice. Without such freedom, we would be little more than pre-programmed robots. The fact that God created the potential for evil by granting us freedom of choice ultimately will lead to the best of all possible worlds, a world in which there will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. Those who choose Christ will be redeemed from evil by His goodness and will forever be able not to sin.
So again, as with Craig's obfuscation, Hanegraaff seems dismissive and unconcerned that while on earth it's essential for humans to have the free will to disobey God, yet in heaven the mere possibility of disobedience is removed, and with it, free will. To me, this seems to be a fatal flaw in the heaven premise. If we have free will in heaven, but won't choose evil, how is that any different than not having free will such that we can't choose evil? And if, as Hanegraaff says, without choice love is meaningless, and God, the personification of love, grants us the freedom of choice, without such freedom we would be little more than pre-programmed robots, heaven presents us the prospect of forever existing as meaningless, loveless, pre-programmed robots. Are we seriously supposed to look forward to an eternity of abject subjugation as if it's a wonderful gift? No thanks. I choose hell instead. Besides, all of the most intelligent and interesting people will be there. Of course, the idea of heaven and hell is just a load of theological reward and punishment bullshit without a shred of evidential support or even internal logical consistency. Apologists like Craig and Hanegraaff get paid to make shit up that sounds palatable to those predisposed to swallow it. But I say that anyone who claims to know what no one can know is a liar, and anyone who follows a liar is a fool. But if you still believe in ancient myths and would freely choose to spend eternity on your knees singing praises to a celestial dictator,
error, 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 error.